Greetings to us all in the name of the Lord. Our concern here is for us to look at script writing as it relates to us as drama ministers. And so, basically, I want to capture this discourse, this talk, this lecture, if you like, as fundamentals of script writing. We want to look at those things that will help us in this aspect of theatrical production, in this aspect of drama administration. What is script writing? What is script itself? How does script affect us? What is the importance of script when it comes to drama administration? These are what we want to look at, briefly. And as I said, within the next few minutes, we'll be able to done with this. I'm trusting God that the Lord will expand this in our heart and give us a deeper understanding, such that will help us, to advance, to move forward, in this ministry we've chosen. Let's go on. Now, talking about script writing, let's start from the basis. Script itself. What is script? Then, who is the person behind the script? And that is script writer. Now, let me start with this illustration or with this explanation on this foundation by saying that script is fundamental to any theatrical production anywhere, be it film, be it radio, be it stage, and even if it's secular outside there or if it's in the church, script is fundamental and script is indispensable to any production. Should I say this? That without script, there's nothing like production, because script is like the foundation upon which every other aspect of theater will build on. Script is what the director will interpret. Script is what the actors will interpret. Script is what the costumer will work on. Script is what the makeup artist will interpret. Script is what the writing man will use to get his what you call light cue or light chart. And so script is very, very important. It's like a man who's building a house. The foundation must be strong. When the foundation is strong, then the building or the house can take anything. Skyscraper, whatever it is. So I'm saying this for us to know the indispensability of script. Script is indispensable. We can't do without it. And as I said before, without script, there's no production. I said it for us to know the importance of script, and again for us to know that the script must be done very, very well. We can't afford to have a loose script. When I say loose, I mean Loose. The script should not be loose. The script should be tight. It should be well knitted, well structured, well written, so that the script will influence the acting and the directing. So this is why I know that this aspect of what we're discussing today is important. We must know what it means. So know what it means. If you know that it is indispensable, if it's known that it's very important, then we know how to place high premium on it. I won't say above everything, but then we should give script the importance and relevance that it deserves. Now, what is script? Script is like when you say a play, you want to act on stage, what we use a play. And so script is that. But when it comes to drama administration, when it comes to radio, when it comes to television, we caption it as script. Basically, it is that document, that written document that you want to work on, where the lines of the actors are written, where the movements are written, where when it is film, you tell us if it is afternoon, morning. So that is script. Script is that document. I don't want to be too academic, that's why I don't want to give definitions of what the scholars have said. No, but to make it as practical as possible. That is why I will just describe it by not giving definition as something, written document that you work on for the purpose of achieving your goal, for the purpose of your administration, if you like, of your theatrical production. That is script. Now, how do you go about it? What is script writing? When it comes to script writing or playwriting, script writing is when you bring your thoughts, your ideas, your experiences, your feelings into writing for the purpose of passing across a message through a channel, and again for a targeted audience. I will come again. Script is when you put your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences, your ideas into writing through a channel for the purpose of passing across a message for a targeted audience. Many things are involved here. When you are writing a script, it comes from within. It's somebody's idea, it's somebody's feelings, it's somebody's experiences. You can't write in abstract. What you come together in your script are what you've passed through, are your experiences, are your feelings, your ideas. For instance, if you're looking at a subject or topic or idea of faith or whatever it is, your own perception of faith, the way you've seen it, the experiences you have of faith, on faith or about faith, or the experience of others are what you put together, what you will conjure, put together to form that script. That is why I said earlier that it is a culmination of your experiences, your feelings, your ideas about that thing. How do you perceive that thing? Then you put it. That is script writing. And again, I said through a channel. Which channel are you able to use? Is it stage? Is it radio? Is it television or film? And again, for the purpose of casting across a message, which means that at the end of the production, the audience should be able to say, oh, I've gained something from this production. And this is what I have gained. That means a message has been passed across. And again, as I said, for a targeted audience, there must be a defined audience for every script. Are you ministering to children? Are you writing for children? Then we call it children's theater. Are you writing for mature people, for adults? And that is why in most cases, watch at televisions, the films and on television, you see them putting X-rated. You see them putting PG, that's parental guidance. You see them putting 18, that means it's for adults. For those who are above 18, that means those productions of films are not for children. So there must be a defined target audience as you are writing your script. That must be at the back of your mind, because that will dictate to you the language to use, how to use it. Right? You can't afford to be speaking vocabulary, big words, when you're writing for children. In the same way, when you're writing for adults too, you can't afford to be using pedestrian, words that are not matured for adults. Or they will say this is for the kids. So that must be at the back of your mind as you're writing. What am I writing for? It's a matured audience, or children, or what's the age range? So that is script writing. Again, as I said, it's when you put down your idea, right? Your thoughts, your feelings, experiences for the purpose of passing across a message through a channel and to a targeted audience. That is script writing. Now, to the main one. How do you write it? How do you go about it? Let me say this. A script writer is an artist. And every artist, whether a musician, whether a creative, an actor, whether a fine artist, whether a painter, every artwork, check it, look at it, imagine it, reflect life. Every artwork you can think of reflect life. And so when you're writing your script too, whatever you are writing must be a reflection of what is happening around us. Must be a reflection of life as it is. Let me say this. We all know we have never seen a man with 3 heads. Even if the man is a monster, even if he has the attribute of a monster, that can only be his attribute. But I've never seen a man with 2 heads or 3 heads. And so you can't afford, when you're writing a script about a man, to have a man with 3 heads. It must be a normal person, normal man, the way you see another man on the street. So that is what we say in theater, that what we don't see in real life should not be on stage. Let me come again. What you don't see in real life should not be on stage. That is why whoever is writing the script must write things that have to do with life. That is why then we say, oh, you must have heard it. People say, oh, this is not real. Because they've seen that this is not the way life is. This is not the way it is. This is not a woman looks like. This is not a man, how a man will behave. Right? When you're writing about say, village setting, you should be in a village setting. In a village setting, you can't afford to have skyscrapers. You can't afford to have houses, built with glasses. You can't afford to have houses with fence or with gate, with bodyguards and all of that, with gate men. No. This is what you see in the city. So there must be that reflection of how it is in real life as you see it in your script. So you must be conscious of that. There's one thing, one word that is common in the arts, especially in prose, in poetry, and in drama. And the word is verisimilitude. Verisimilitude as pronounced Verisimilitude. Verisimilitude. It means close to nature, close to life. It must be imitative of life. That is verisimilitude. So whatever you are doing must be close to nature, close to life, the way it is. And so every writer must be conscious of that. And again, as you are writing, it must follow the sequence of life. For instance, when you wake up in the morning, the first meal you eat in the morning is breakfast. You can wake up and say, oh, the man is having his lunch at 7:30 in the morning. No, it's not really. That is not the way it is in real life. So it must be something that has to do with life, the way life is structured. So all that you are doing must be a reflection of life the way it is. And let me say this, whoever is writing a script is somebody, any language you want to use, be it Efik, be it Hausa, be it Ibiobio, be it Yoruba, be it in English, the writer must be fluent in that language. Your fluency in that language will help you to put words together in a way that will pass across a message very, very well. If you're writing with English language or in English language, it must be fluent in English. You must be versed in English. You should be able to make use of figures of speech. You should be able to make use of idiom. You should be able to make use of proverbs in English. You should be able to make use of poetic lines that will captivate, fascinate, and make your audience feel at home. Right. Let me say this. In the age we are now, we are in an age where our audience, those who see our production in church, don't think because we enjoy them, we do it anyhow. People today enjoy, they are sophisticated, they are enlightened, they are exposed, and they are well informed. Don't forget, our audience in church, they've been exposed to technology, social media. They know what is happening in Netflix, they've seen drama in Netflix, they watch drama in YouTube, they watch drama in all these through all these different channels and media. Then you can't afford to give them wishy-washy. We are not saying we should conform to the world. What we are saying is that as we're writing our script, whoever is writing will be somebody who will write with finesse, who will write with some level of skill and professionalism, so that people will say, wow, this is good. We were growing up, as students of literature, students of English in the arts and humanities, we were told that there are many ways you can increase our vocabulary. They will tell us when you listen to news, because radio and television, those who speak there, they're expected to speak correct, simple English. In the same way, too, actors on stage are meant to speak correct, simple English. Even correct diction should be applied when you are acting. And so it will take somebody who is fluent to write simple, correct English in script. That should not be toyed with. So that fluency must be there. And so in our department, let me come to this. In our department, in our drama department, in our unit, we should be able to identify somebody, at least one person. This is how we can develop it. Now we have administration. We have to minister, say for instance, on faith. That's the theme of the let me say convention, or the month. And so drama ministers minister along or surround that theme, and the theme is faith. How do you go about it? You should be able to identify somebody among you. Let me correct this impression, this thing that we are, almost all of us in churches, almost all departments, almost everywhere, not everywhere, are guilty of this. And what is that thing? It's to, once you appoint somebody as drama coordinator, we think he or she knows it all. And so the person must be the one that will bring the script, bring the story, write the script, that will direct it, and still act in it. It is wrong. It is wrong. We should be able to identify somebody, amongst us, because writing is a skill. Writing is a gift. Even if those of us in the academic, we know that some people come to the university or college of education, they are born with that skill of writing. It's inborn. And they come to express it. With just little knowledge or little teaching, then they're good. And there are some too, with exposure to knowledge, to teaching on playwriting, they take it up and they're good. So you should be able to identify either of the two. Somebody is good, who can employ his talent of writing. You allow him to be the one that will write the script for that group. It's like this. The story has been brought to all of us. You have the story. And may I say this, storyline is not the same as script. The story is just the narrative as it is. Woman was born, he gave birth to another girl, the girl has another sibling, and they grew up, they went to school, all of that, and that's the story. But can we have somebody who will put dialogue into it? Dialogue make a script. Who will put dialogue into it? Oh, this is a man. Now, at what point, what will he say in this scene? Then, when he's talking, somebody will be answering him. Then dialogue. How many people will be in that scene? And they fall in that scene. What will they say individually? So they should have different lines. They should have different interpretation of what they will say as far as that scene is concerned. Then the next thing, what happens there? And so a scripter should be able to put that into writing, to tell us what and what to do. Again, if it's an issue of like domestic issue, family issue, you look around you. How does the family behave? What are the right words in the family? And the one you are used to in the environment, home environment. The kitchen must be there, the bedroom must be there. What and what should be in the kitchen, the knife, the spoons, the gas cooker, or the stove, as the case may be. The food will be in the kitchen, and again, if you're having a campus setting, school environment setting, then the language you will use in that setting too is somebody who will go there and identify and know this is a language. How do the students speak? I know all of us are familiar with this. When you start having studies on campus, if it's the morning, afternoon, or evening, first thing they will say is alpha. As if alpha is good morning. It's like the language of students. We know their language, and students speak more of pidgin in school environment. Not all anyway, but in most cases, students using that pidgin language more. Okay? And so you should be able to identify this environment. What are the language used? What are the jargons used in that environment? If you are talking about hospital, what are the personnel in the hospital? What are the common languages in the hospital? What are the basic instruments to use in the hospital? The syringe, the whatever it is that they use in the hospital, then you know all those things, right? So a script that should be somebody who is we always say that one of the qualities of a scripter is that it must be somebody who is very, very observant. Observant as in somebody who knows what is happening around him, and somebody who is a student of environment, a student of society, who knows what is happening, who can actually tell us, who can actually switch and change and know when it comes to farming, these are the tools, right? The hoe, the cutlass, and the crops and all of that. Then again, when we switch again when it comes to campus setting, what are the words used there? Okay? And campus, is it campus, institution, or secondary school? Institution, you're talking of lecturers, okay? You're talking of lecturers going to the hostel, going to the classroom, going to halls, going to lecture theater. When you go to secondary school, then you are talking of teachers. You are talking of, common classroom. You are talking of maybe in most cases chalk or temple or marker, to write. You should be able to distinguish, right? That is why I said it's somebody who's very, very vast, who's observant, who knows how to switch from one areas of life to another one. Very, very important. Okay? And so, as I said before, the fluency must be there in the language you want to use. That's is the basic one. Simple understanding of English language by using English language. You can't afford to write a script and you're giving us grammatical blunders. You're in case still yet. I mean, among other ones that are not always say unpardonable errors. Right? Okay? So that must be at the back of mind as we are writing. And again, one vital and important one is common among us and which will help us to correct it. Again, I said that in the environment today, our audience are sophisticated, they're exposed, they're enlightened, they're well informed. One area, how do we title our script? What's the title given to our script? You know, you've seen terrible titles. My mother is a witch. My mother is a wicked mother-in-law, a wicked husband. No, come on. With that, you will know where the story, where the play will end from the beginning. And so, can we consciously have a title that will give suspense, that will make the audience to be on their seat from the beginning to the end? We know you are talking about the wicked mother-in-law. You can just come in and say, my second mother, or another parent. Right. Towards the end of the script of the play, or somewhere we will see that, oh, you know, after all, my mother cannot behave like this. You're not my mother, so I can see you as my second mother. That's why you are behaving like this. Your real mother will not be like this. You are saying that she's not a real mother. You are saying that she's wicked. You've indirectly given her the attributes of somebody who is not good. Somebody is wicked. But then you say wicked husband or wicked mother-in-law, we know you are going to. One easy way out, which I tell people when I'm talking about this, is you are just coming up, is to use the name of the prominent character in that play as the title of the play. That's one easy way out for those who are just coming up, who are not skillful yet. For instance, the play is all about one beautiful young lady who got mixed up somewhere, and her name is Tara. That play can be titled simply as Tara. Others will be wondering, what is Tara? What will happen to Tara? Than to say Tara the wayward girl. I mean, that has given it out. Why say Tara? Or you want to talk about a wicked king, or a king who is terrible, just say King Opobo, or King Jaja, or King Oedipus. People will be wondering, who is King Oedipus? What will happen to him? Right? So, but when you say wicked king, people will. So these are the skills that a scriptwriter must apply, must consciously use as a way of keeping in his audience, as a way of driving them home message, such that will make it interesting. As I said before, our script cannot afford to be loose. It must be well knitted, well connected, in such a way that we influence the actors, directors, to them to do a good job. That should be at the back of our mind. And don't forget that I said that what you are doing must be close to life. Imitation of like the way life it is. You can't write in abstract. Right? The title alone should not be where suspense is. Suspense should run through the script. One of the fundamental elements of script is suspense. Suspense. Your audience are confused, quote unquote. They are not sure what will happen on the next scene. Let me ask you, have you ever wondered why when you are ministering and people are just walking out of the church or the auditorium? Because your script is not tight. Your script is loose. That is why. When the script is tight, if they are enjoying what they are seeing, what they are watching, they won't go. They want to see the end. By the time they know the beginning from the end, they will walk out on you. And you know, it always grieves me as a person, as a drama minister, when I see that in church and people are just walking out there, but you know, a good script would make them to sit down on their seat. And it comes from the skill. Let me keep on saying that, the skill of the writer. So it's very, very important that this is done. Get somebody who can do a good job for you, who can write for you, and give us a neat and good script. Now, let's go into this. Writing for stage. There's no difference between writing for stage, secular, out there or the one in church. No. The scriptwriter must be very observant, must be used to the geography of stage. Now, professionally, we talk about stage right, stage left, upstage, downstage, what do you call it, apron or orchestra, central stage, and all of that. A good scriptwriter must be vast, must know all about this. But again, we are limited in church because not almost, every of our church, they are not built for performances. So it's just a space for ministration, a space for power to minister, to share the word. That's what we have, an elevated space, elevated, our altar. So it's limited. They have same very choky auditorium, but we still have to minister. How do we do it? This is where creativity comes in for the scriptwriter. See, creativity is one word too that every artist must be employed, must be used to. Creativity is bringing something out of nothing. Creativity is creating something out of the ordinary. Thinking on your feet, thinking outside the box, making extraordinary go a little bit beyond the normal. Because now you can't say because the stage is shoky or small, then you can't do something. You must do something. I've seen in most of our auditorium, we only have one entrance to the stage, and from the auditorium, from the audience, from the church to the stage. So how do you do it? How do you create stage right, stage left, stage and all of that? Then you need to think creatively. How do I achieve this? And as you're writing, because if the script is not given to you from an outsider, you're in this church. And our church, you see, the structure, how big the auditorium is, the altar is, or how small it is. You should create with that at the back of your mind. You won't do something that will put your actors, under stress or under pressure. Create something with a script. With the structure you have, with the geography or with the space that you have to work with. That to be at the back of our mind, right? How the actors will move. They go this way, they go that way. You have one entrance to the altar where you're using. Then, if they go from this side, then maybe there are many. There are passages in the auditorium. What they call AISLE, Then maybe they go this way this time, and that one they go. So that should be at the back of our mind, right? So, what writing for stage, is just an understanding of the geography of the stage, how it is. Okay, as I said before, your stage is not built for theater production. What do? Be creative. Think of how to achieve that. Think of in a way that you will minister and everybody in the auditorium will get understand what you're saying. Very, very important. Where do you put your actors as you are creating? Where do you put, people? How do they come in? How do they go out? Very, very important, right? And so, in doing that, one is the way out is you infer or you allude. For instance, if you can't afford to have like a car park or garage where you park your car on stage. No, you just assume those are the things that will be in your script. You just come in with a key and say, okay, Bello, driver, park the car there, and don't park at the back of the Lexus. Park where there is no where the Lexus will not be affected. That one, most of the money will go with the Benz and not Lexus again. That will give us a picture of a rich man who has fleet of cars. The audience will imagine, we will know that okay, truly this man has fleet of cars somewhere. These are the things that should be in the script that you are writing. You understand all that? Okay? So, when writing for stage, add that at the back of your mind, creativity. And again, you put those things in your life for the audience to imagine. Unlike writing for film, I'm going there. If it is film, we know film is more natural, more real than stage. If you want to achieve a forest, in film, it's just a matter of taking our camera to a nearby forest and shoot there. It's a matter of taking our camera to a nearby riverside and shoot there to achieve riverside. Okay? But if it is stage, you just infer it. You can say, okay, I'm going for the stream with a water pot. You just bring a water pot to the stage with water, maybe. But if it is film, we see you fetching the water from the stream, natural stream. Or somebody is just coming from the swimming pool. If it is stage, maybe the man has swimming pool in his house. All you can do is just to have what do you call it, your towel, your towel somewhere, just put it on your shoulder and say, maybe some water splash on your face to show that yes, I'm coming from the with the swimming pants, and say I'm coming from the swimming pool. But in television or in film, we will see you diving into the pool because the camera will just go there and make it natural. Also, when you're writing for film, unlike stage, it must be well stated. You see money, it should be at the beginning. Scene 1, money. Scene 1, interior. Scene 2, interior. Interior within the house, sitting room. Interior 2 within the house, bedroom. Interior 2 in the kitchen. But when it comes to the car park I was talking about earlier, that should be exterior. Exterior where? Car park. Well stated. And again, time of the day. Is it morning? Is it afternoon? Is it evening? So that when the director who will interpret the script pick it, he will know that, hey, I must shoot a scene at the car park, and it must be in the afternoon, or it must be in the morning when the man is going to work. That must be well stated. So those are the clear cutting between film and stage. In film again, you let us know. Is it interior, exterior? Is it morning, afternoon, and evening? And again, what particular location? Beer parlor, on the street. What kind of street are we talking about? You see, normal street that people just pass, or kind of pass, or the street of rich men, like you have like GRAs, local housing, or one expensive environment, right? So to achieve or to let us know that, hey, those who are living in this environment, they are people of affluence because of the gates, because of the fence, because of the buildings that we have there. You take us there, right? So television or film is more natural. Let me say that again. Real, close to it. It's not even close to it. You achieve it, really. But on stage is make believe. You just assume. This I just will say in your line for the audience to know, because you can't, as I said before, you can't bring some people to the stage. It's not possible. You only infer, you only say to your line, oh, I'm coming from the swimming pool. Maybe what you are wearing will now tell us, okay, try to convince us. Yeah, truly, because he's wearing swimming pants. Because swimming pants cannot be worn to a party. You can't wear swimming pants to the classroom. But wearing swimming pants, okay, I'm coming from the swimming pool, shows that yes, because of what he's wearing, it's come from the swimming pool, right? So these are little differences between stage, and film. That should be at the back of our mind. Now let's go into this. We are talking about script. The opposite of script. When you don't script, what do? You improvise. Which is what we do in most cases in our church. I want to see how I can emphasize it. Can we please consciously discourage improvisation? No matter what you are doing, if it's just 10 minutes ministration, 15 minutes, can we consciously ask script for it? You know why? Improvisation is it's not professional. I will tell you some limitations in improvisation. What's improvisation? It's just that we have this story, and this person will not say, okay, come together. You, brother, you are the role of the king. And that's what you say. In that first scene, you have two queens, just talk to them, the servant will come, you know what to say. And queen, you know what to say now, if the king will be there, talk to them, you answer the king, and you know what to say. And the servant will come in, and you will rely on them for their own words, to use their own language and to say it in their own way. From experience, we've seen that, and it's not helping us, because we've seen people playing to the gallery. Because yes, now I'm acting, now I'm on stage. They want to say all that they know. They want to show that yes, I'm the one acting today. They just go out of control. They don't say anything they want to say, and just keep on talking. Somebody will be talking at the back, try to control them. Please, okay, come. Because they are not controlled. There's no script of control to guide them. So script control. Script will caution you. You know that these are your lines. You don't go beyond your lines. But improvisation, people People go out above board, they say anything, and again, fundamentally, permit me with every sense of respect and with no intent of casting aspersion or whatever. People commit grammatical blunders because there's no script to guide them. So they speak based on their own knowledge, based on their own understanding of English language, based on that level of exposure. So they misuse words, and talk anyhow, and they just commit blunders, they just grammatical errors. As I said earlier, we have audience who is sophisticated. Do you know what? What we do in the administration in church can put our audience off or make them to stay. You can imagine a first timer coming to your church for the first time and he sees your performance and he will say, wow, I enjoy this drama. I like what these people are doing. Because of this, I will join their church. That's happened before. And so we should be able to use everything to get people to a church, to win souls, ultimately. Right? In the same people will say, wow, what are these guys doing? This is rubbish. Oh, come on. You see how they are committing blunders, see what they are saying. Because of the grammatical blunders, the words of the way we are reading our text, things must be done in a way to meet up with the standard. Again, as I said, we are not conforming to the world. But again, you should not forget the fact that we are advancing every day, technology-wise, and people are getting exposed. Even our own children in church, undergraduates, they will come back from school, and because they are in university now, they will see you on blowing grammar there, they will be closing their eyes in church, closing their mouth in church, closing their ears, because once you start blowing grammar that is not there. I mean, those should be discouraged, and the only way to discourage that is to have script that has been written by somebody who understands that language. That should be emphasized. Improvisation makes us to go haywire, to just say it as we want to say it, and to go above board, and make mistakes that we can avoid. However, maybe we're in a tight corner. We just call and says, okay, drama, please give us something for tomorrow or for next one day. Even there's no time, please apologies. Two things here. I want to discourage that. They should not ship out. They should not take for granted and just give us fire brigade notice. No. We should just stand up and say, oh, sir, sorry, sir, give us enough time to rehearse. We can achieve that because we must do something good. You know why? We say professionally that a 5 minutes performance should take or will take 5 hours of rehearsal. Let me come again. A 5 minute performance should take or must take 5 hours of rehearsal. But here we see in our churches, almost a number of us can identify with this. Again, I'm not casting aspersion, but it's what we do, which we are trying to discourage. We know that ministry every first Sunday of the month. We just come Saturday or Friday, let's act, let's rehearse for 30 minutes, 1 hour. We now pray and we say, Holy Spirit will take control. We know Holy Spirit will take control, but please, people of God, we should not abuse Holy Spirit. Let's put some finesse, some professionalism into what we are doing. We should not abuse Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit will take control, no doubt. But you can imagine what you will do if you rehearse for hours or for weeks compared to what you do if you rehearse for just 1 hour or just a day. There's a big clear-cut difference there, right? Practice makes perfect, and that practice is your rehearsal. Consent one. Should I say this? That outside there professionally, a good production will take an average of 6 to 8 weeks of intensive rehearsal. 6 to 8 weeks of intensive rehearsal, at times morning and evening, sincerely. And that is why, because they must take in the lines, because they must internalize the character they want to impersonate, because we all know acting is all about impersonation. You are playing the role of a madman. You are not a madman. So for you to internalize that role, it will take days, not just 1 day. And again, to ideally, you should be able to go out there and understudy a madman. For you to know how you will put that practice on stage. You need to go out there and understudy a drunkard. You want to play the role of a drunkard. You need to go out there and understudy a prostitute. That's what you are given, right? We are the prostitute standing. Where we want to study them and look at how they behave, what they put on. That will help you, and that can't be done in 1 day or 2 days. intensive rehearsal within your circle, and again you go out there and do understudy to know how to actually internalize your role, how to interpret your role, how to change your person to that role you are playing. That's why we say, wow, this is real. I keep on saying it. What we should put up in our ministrations is what then we say, wow, this is real. That is when the message will pass across to them. We are not just dramatizing into what we are ministering life. It must be done in a way that they be convinced. We are talking about evangelism. We are talking about soul winning. We want to show the life of a man who messed up, who has gone haywire, who was almost ending tragically, so as to convince the sinners in the auditorium. It must be done in a convincing way, so that the man who is in the auditorium, who is still living that kind of life, will say, as you are ministering, you'll be seeing himself in that picture, and he'll be saying, Lord, here I am. Not anybody tell him anything again. That's happened before. That we've seen the productions whereby we are ministering there on stage and people are crying in the auditorium. They are crying in the auditorium. They've forgotten themselves that they're in church or they are watching drama. They are crying because they are convinced, because something is eating them. It starts from the script, well-written script, that we now must have taken days or weeks of rehearsal. That is not just improvisation. You say this or say that or no. Script will make it neat. So script should be given premium as against, and this time we can discourage improvisation. And that bit why analyzing or the beauty of scripted plays is that we know that you're just given 10 minutes, 15 minutes to do your play and all of that. But over time you can compile those 10 minutes and make it a compilation of ministrations that make a book. You can. Or you keep them in your store, you keep them in your account, you keep them in a file somewhere, and 2 or 3 years to come, none of you are not there again in that drama unit, maybe marriage, job transfer, the location to another place, and somebody will just pick that up and still use it, and will still impact life, and will still touch life. So there are a lot of advantages attached to script, a lot of them. And again too, if you are doing something like drama fiesta, whoa, good one, that you have to yourself 1.5 hours or 2 hours to minister. That should not be improvised. That should be done professionally with script, and again with intensive weeks of rehearsal. That will make audience know these people are doing well, and they will convince the audience, and so that will lead to winning of souls and the transformation in the church. Many things will happen to the glory of God. So please let us consciously work on those things and do a good job. As far as script is concerned, we can't just toy with it. That is why we started on that note. The script is indispensable, very, very fundamental, and something we cannot toy with, something we can't joke about, something we must stay with that premium, and again something that must be done in a convincing and perfect way. I pray God will help us. Now, in closing, let me say this. I said it in passing earlier. The fact that you are the coordinator of drama in your church, you are there today, doesn't mean that you must be all in all. Let us see how we can identify people in a department. Do you know what? You may just be there, drama coordinator, just to organize, just to use that word to coordinate, and say, okay, you are playing, you are the one bringing your script, you bring the story, you write it down, then you are this role. You may not even minister, you may not even be on stage. There's no crime about that. Sincerely, no crime. Let us see how we can see every arm of the theater. The stage management, the directing, the acting, the script writing, the costuming, the makeup. People should man them. People should be there separately. Right. Stage manager should not act, because it's a serious business. Because this thing is going, you are taking off how to arrange other thing. So you are handful. Director is still there directing, you are handful. Right. So let us see how we can break some of these conventions that are not helping us. Right. That are not making us impacting the way we should impact. Things must be done again in a professional way, in a skillful way, in a way that will make the say that wow, these people are doing a good job. I pray again that God will give us understanding on how to go about all of this. In closing, let me say this. There's nothing different from writing a Christian play and writing for the play outside there. No difference at all. The only difference you may say is that probably the lines in the Christian play should be biblical lines, something. It depends too anyway. For instance, if you're playing the role of a pastor, you know the right word to use and all of that and everything. And but outside there, some things are not just, they're just there outside there professionally. But in church, one thing runs true, or some things run true. One of them is the skill. The skill of writing, whether you're writing in church or outside there, is the same thing. The fluency in the use of language is the same thing. Right? The only thing is just the lines, or maybe probably the theme, or how to go about it, or the setting. So there's no difference between writing a Christian play and writing a play that is not for evangelism or for soul winning or the play in church. No, it's the same thing. The skill, the professionalism, the thought, the expertise, the finance should be there, right? The only thing can just be the lines. And again, probably let me say this: in church, we rely on God to give us inspiration, because, for instance, truly, it's a fact. You may not know what to minister on. For instance, maybe if you are given the freedom to minister, you may not know what to minister on. You cannot pray and say, Lord, inspire us. Lord, speak to us. Give us inspiration. When you pray together as drum ministers, the word can drop from in somebody's heart and say, okay, why not this line? Why not let us talk about this? Let us talk about grace. Oh, grace. Oh, that's true. Grace. Now, what do you do about grace? How do we bring something around grace? Then we start discussing. Who is allowed professionally? Discussion is allowed. Discussion, what to call workshop ensemble. When all of you in a particular group, all the cast and crew, you sit down together and you discuss the play. You discuss what you are doing. And if you start a discussion on that level, everybody will go along. Everybody will know that I'm part of this from the beginning. And so, to interpret your role, to analyze your character will be very, very simple and very easy. So it's allowed. You can sit down and discuss, okay, we are ministering on grace. But as we are discussing, let somebody be there who will script that. That's important. Now we have a story on grace. Good. Then there will be somebody who will script, who will create the dialogue, okay? Who will create the scenes and tell us what and who will say what. Very, very important. So it's allowed. So Christian drama, Christian writing for Christian drama, the only thing I said before is just for us to let God inspire us, and He give us grace, because you never can tell. That word grace may be for somebody in the church on that Sunday that will come. And the person will say, wow, that drama is for me. It means God has spoken to you ahead of time because of that person. Or maybe just one person. And that is something. That is something. So that is where the only difference is in church is for us to just pray for inspiration. God will give us inspiration. And as that has been dropped in your heart, all of you agree, then again too, let's see how we can apply or employ and use professionalism. Okay? Don't say because, okay, we've been inspired, then we take control. No. Let your skill to be have its own place. Let the finance be there. Let that regional thought be there. And with Holy Spirit inspiring, with Holy Spirit encouraging, with Holy Spirit helping us, we see us coming out with something wonderful. So that will be impactful, that will affect life, and that will make people to say, like they say in the day of Pentecost, what shall we do? That should be the yearning or the question after administration. It must be so impactful that people will say, what shall we do? Right? We've seen the places whereby after the administration, nothing happens again. The pastor will just say, let us pray. People, as I said before, people will be crying and just, their life must have been touched. And it starts from the script. It starts from the script. The script must be knitted, must be well done. The actors will just interpret the script. So the foundation is the script. After administration, people will just, that is why I always encourage the administration to come before the word, before the word administration in church. I always encourage that. So the pastor may either build on what we ministered, or we just say, nothing more to preach, let us pray. And you see people, confessing, give their life to Christ, and transformation happening in church, and people are saying, I'm blessed. It starts from the script. Once again, script is very important, very vital. It's pivotal to all that we do, as far as drama is concerned. We must not take script with levity. It must be done in a neat way. It must be well composed, well written, but someone understand the language to be used, and you see life being touched, and you see us taking our administration, taking our drama, on that level. I pray with this little, God will expand it more in our heart and give us a deeper understanding. Maybe when we have opportunity, then we can do one-on-one. There will be question, then we expand more on this. But with the little that we've said so far, I'm trusting God again that God will inscribe it more in our heart, with an understanding. Then we take our administration, our drama unit to another level. As Paul will say in the book of 2 Timothy, consider all I've said, and may God give you understanding. Thank you, and God bless you.